Okay, so I want to talk to you about the Timoney method acting cycle. Now, what exactly is that? Well, when great actors act, they kind of go through this cycle. It's a step-by-step sort of process, I guess, they go through in order to achieve great acting. Now, how does it happen? Well, the first step is to be present. Now, that might sound obvious. You'd think, obviously, if you're going to act in a scene, you need to be present. But it's very easy for the actor not to be present because they're under a lot of stress and strain, worries and concerns about how the work may be received by the watcher, the audience. It can start to play in the actor's mind, or even past performances where things went wrong or didn't go their way can start to haunt them. And other things as well, that while they're actually going through the process of preparing, I guess, to shoot a scene or getting ready to go on stage, all these kind of technical things can start to play on their mind, and about where things are going to be, and are they going to be able to navigate the situation tonight when the curtain goes up? Will they become inspired? Now, all of these thoughts take them out of the present moment. Whenever we're thinking about the future or indeed the past, we're not present. So the actor has to have a way of coming into the present moment where they're not thinking about those things, and they're certainly not thinking about themselves and what they need and want. Because as soon as you do that, you're not thinking like the character, because the character doesn't have those thoughts. So that's a very clear indication that the actor isn't in the character, as it were. The next step on from presence is perception. So once the actor is completely present and they're really there with the other actor and actors that they're working with, they are going to have perceptions. And that perception is a mixture of their own perception of what's occurring in front of them, but also the imaginative perception that they have through the character's eyes. So this mixture of, or I guess the actor is like this conduit through which the senses are all happening. You see things, you smell things, taste, touch things. And all of this is happening to you as an individual. But when it happens for the actor, they know that they're in imaginary circumstances and that they are playing, or at least inhabiting, the life of someone else. And so therefore, the perceptions that they have are imaginative perceptions, right? They start to see the world through the eyes of this character. And they may look at a room and think, actually, I don't like this room, as the character. And they may pick fault in the room, or they may see things that are lying about that they think that shouldn't be lying about. These are all imaginative perceptions that the character may have. And these are good to have, because the thoughts of the character are more than just what they say. They're definitely a lot more than what they just say. So they're having these, if you like, thoughts and experiences when they're not talking, when the lines have not been spoken. And often that can be missed, or kind of thought is not important, because obviously some of these thoughts are not in relation to the lines. However, they're incredibly important because they give depth. They give real depth to the character that you're portraying. It really shows that you're beginning to inhabit the character and starting to live and see the world through their eyes. And it becomes much easier to behave as them as a result. The next step on from that is impulse. So you see things, you hear things, you perceive things in your environment as the character. And then you have impulses to do things. It might be a physical action, or indeed just the impulse to speak is an impulse. Sometimes that's forgotten about, right? Because you've got a script and you think, well, I need to say the script. However, we have to remember that even the impulse to speak is an impulse, and there has to be a reason for it. We very rarely in real life, for example, speak because we've got no reason to. There's a psychological thought behind it. And obviously the physical aspect, a physical movement, has to have a reason behind it. Even if it's just a fact of, thinking, actually, I want to have a cup of tea, and then moving towards the kettle and the tea bag to make that happen. Well, that happens in real life naturally and easily because you have the thought and then the action occurs. But in acting, an actor can actually have the physical action without the thought. They know that, for example, in the script that they have to go and make a cup of tea, and so they go and do it, but they don't have the thought process behind it that makes somebody want to do that. So perception and impulse work very closely together, and eventually it brings you back round to presence again. So you have presence, perception, impulse, back round to presence, where the actor is obviously present with the other actors in the environment they're in, the imaginary world that they're in, and beginning to then again perceive and take impulses. So that little cycle basically encapsulates the whole acting process. These 3 steps have to occur, and you need a process by which to follow in order to achieve that. And that's exactly what I do. I take the actor through this process so that they can realize what it is to be present. They can realize what it is to have a character thought, a character perception, and then of course an impulse. Now this might sound fairly rudimentary or straightforward, but let me tell you, it's not. It goes to the very heart of what makes somebody a great actor. And if they don't manage to achieve this and it should be something that's taught from day one, if they don't manage to achieve that, then for the rest of their career, they're confused about what a character thought is, or the difference between their own thoughts and character thoughts, or what a true impulse is, an authentic impulse, an authentic movement eludes them. So it's very important, it's crucial, I would say, that this cycle is thought about very deeply, and that you have a very particular technique and process by which to make this happen. And that's exactly what we do on Timoney Method.